Hey everyone, and welcome back to Episode Club. Today we're going to continue with Stranger Things, talking Chapter 7, The Mind Flayer, Chapter 8, no, Chapter 7, The Lost Sister, Chapter 8, The Mind Flayer, and Chapter 9, The Gate. So, everybody, so
That
hold on.
sister's still lost is all I got to say. That wasn't even a misspeaking there. You're
Yeah.
supposed to forget that episode. It's a giant Rocky montage training episode. That's all it is.
Yeah, so we're talking all the last three episodes, probably the most dramatic of the season. And Johnny, introduce yourself, my friend.
My name's Johnny. No, my name is Johnny B. Crazy. What's going on? I hope everybody's having a fantastic 4th of July Eve. And if you don't celebrate it, hey, that sucks, but y'all have all kind of good holidays around the world that we don't get to celebrate. And actually, shout out to Talamasca Dan for reminding me that July 2nd was the actual Independence Day. So this day and the next day will be ink drying days, National Ink Drying Day. So no, uh, it's always a fun time. I can't wait to eat some hot dogs, hamburgers, and talk about Legion tomorrow, even if it is just me kind of saying, "Hey, watch Legion," and then
Yeah,
I'll make people talk about it. I'll make BBM come on because I hear that he has like the bird flu or something, man.
the bird flu.
The
Yeah,
bird flu. Who knows what it is, how I attracted it. I'm feeling better today than I was Monday and Tuesday. It was ridiculous. I don't even wish this on my worst of enemies, unless you're Euron Greyjoy who slept with Cersei. Hey all, Phantom D Saint here. Cannot wait to talk about these last 3 episodes of Stranger Things. So let's get to it.
yes, exactly. And AK will be joining us at some point. She's just running a little behind. But shout out to the people who've joined us in the chat for now. We have Bobby Catalano, Katrina Torres, someone named Johnny B. Crazy, oh, and Santavia Major, and Danny McKay, as well as Random D Saint. Again, I don't know who that is. AK, how are you doing today?
What is good? What is good? I am doing all right. Had a
Nah, say what you
decent.
wrote.
Say what I wrote. I'm here, bitches. No, I hadn't had a decent day at work, minus some random people that get on my nerves with their delays and ignoring deadlines and whatnots. But such is life. I still got off early, and now I'm here, reporting live from the Upside Down. Let's get into this. And BBM, I'm sorry you're sick. I do hope you're feeling better. Stop going around infected children's. The kids will get you every time. Just saying.
He got
They
that shit
always
real
do.
cock.
They don't wash their hands. They don't pick up after themselves. It's just like, I'm in the wrong business. I
No,
told you, stay away from those demon children. I told you.
Phantom Descent hand sanitizer coming to you today in multiple flavors and edible, so kids of all ages can use it.
yeah, who knows? Maybe it'll come with a surprise Funko. Anyway, so we'll start with episode 7. The kind of 11's storyline in that is just 11. So 11 finding her sister in 8. Just yeah, we got that episode. I know a lot of people.
Is it her sister?
Yeah, a lot of people try to kind of not forget that episode because so much is going on. So, what was your kind of favorite parts of that episode, if you can name?
Yeah, I haven't seen a mustache like that since Ramathorn and Super Troopers. I think no, it this episode got a little derivative and somewhat cheesy, but I do think down the line we're going to see more of a payoff for this other than what we saw in the finale as far as 11 closing the hole. Hashtag close the hole in chat. And we do have multiple numbers here. Some went crazy, some died. But we do got to think that someone else lived that possibly is an adult now. And because 8 and 11 are pretty close, but who's number 1? Who's number 2? Is Papa more than he seems? Is he holding back some kind of powers? Could he be number 1? That'd be a hell of a twist. And I'll shut the hell up a little bit, but this is a really, not a whole bunch to talk about here, in my opinion, but I would love to hear y'all's thoughts on it.
You know what this was?
There's like only 2 points to talk about in this damn episode. One, Papa's alive. So, Johnny, for weeks, have been saying Papa's the real hero. Dude's alive. Secondly, number 8. Other than that, it's like, why are we still here just to suffer? Did y'all need to make an extra episode? So it's like, all right, we got another extra episode. So let's just put something in there. Or maybe this was a part of another episode, but they realized, well, we need to either cut time down or just make an extra episode. So here you go. Like, it's good for merchandising, because now you got Gothic 11 Funko Pop out there. I never bought it because this episode was meh.
It lasted all of what, 2.5 episodes.
It only needed to last that long. You know why? This episode was pretty much, in my opinion anyway, the homage of 1980s Arya going to Bravos, running through the mean streets, getting chased by the waif. She had to have her final lessons on how to be a fucking Jedi, and that's what 11 needed. 11 needed to learn how to up her game. She had to go through her Faceless Man training to get shit together. If we wouldn't have met Kali, and Kali didn't help her channel the way she did, this whole fucking story in this season would have ended very, very badly. It was necessary. It was filler. Yes, I do agree with that, but it was necessary. And to your question, Johnny, I think number 1 was Terry, 11's mom.
Okay, that's a good point. She definitely seemingly had to be some part. She has some kind of powers herself. I got an outsider's vibe feel from this, and I just now thought of this. 8 is Ralph Macchio.
That's a good one. When him and Ponyboy ran away.
Yes, Ponyboy is 11. Holy
good
shit.
Reference. I like it.
That's the Greasers and the Socias.
Yes, the Greasers and the fucking Socias, them bastards.
One of my favorite stories ever. I don't know. I just kind of fell in love with that when I read that as well.
And I highly encourage you, y'all. It is a movie, but go read the book. It's by S.E. Hinton. She was one of my favorite authors growing up. Damn near all of her books were made into movies in like the early 90s, and they're corny and cheesy, but they're still spectacular by the same rate.
Yeah, in 8th grade, I think we read the book, and then for grade 12 for high school, that was the school play, was The Outsiders, and I was involved in it, but not obviously on stage. Background stuff, it was in the background, so it was fun. And a lot of people are liking that reference. Episode 7, we kind of had to have a 11 episode because she did isolate herself, and we gotta keep up with 11. But like you are all saying, it's like we have to kind of have this episode so 11 can focus and hone in on her powers and to relate to somebody who knows what she's going through in some aspect, because obviously Mike can't really relate to her. Will, on some circumstances, can relate to her, but it's completely different because A, he's like basically incapacitated, and B, it's a different circumstance. But yeah, I like I guess it's the analogy that you're using, AK, with the Arya going off to Bravos and get the training, but it wasn't a season long. It was about an episode.
Yeah, at least we got that gift from the Duffer Brothers. They didn't waste our time with the whole of the Bravos training session. They just condensed it to one episode. I give kudos to them for that.
One
no
episode.
Terminator scene either.
Exactly. She didn't need the Terminator scene. She just needed that little scene where she tapped into her anger and brought out her upper level Phoenix skills.
Mm-hmm.
What about this festering wound? I know we're kind of jumping around here, but I don't think we're going in chronological order. The festering wound Papa talks about. Now this comes up. Do you think there's some kind of foreshadowing? Is 11 going to die ultimately at the end of this? I kind of see. Damn. the more I look at it, I see some kind of tragic end that's going to break our hearts with her. Everybody else will probably be okay, but I don't think 11 will make it.
I could see that because I think the Duffer Brothers, because I can recently start watching like the trailers and stuff. I think they said, and the cast, I think, were saying that they only expect this show to go max 5 seasons. So I could see something where they do something like that, but it depends on what happens in this next season that's dropping in about a couple hours from now. So, I mean, it's possible. She's a beloved character. She's kind of, it would be sad and tragic, but it's not going to be like another character that died on TV recently. That.
Well, what if she just has to stay, like, go to the Upside Down and stay there to keep the portal closed?
That would terribly suck. I would be very disappointed with that ending. I honestly would be disappointed with her dying after having gone through all this stuff, but sometimes that is the hero's journey, and the crux of this story has been centered around 11, and everything else is just magnets floating around her.
So that basically what Johnny's saying is that 11 may turn into the Jon Snow of this story.
Yeah, well, see, not even the Jon Snow. I feel like, because I think we're going to get a different story in the books, but I think she could be like the person that has to sacrifice and become the Night Queen to hold everything back from the Upside Down. You know, like in... have we all seen the trailers?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so no spoilers.
Billy's the best, by the way. He's going to be the biggest hero ever.
Fuck Billy. He's going to die. His name starts with the B.
Well,
He ain't safe.
Well, first of all, he's going to have sex with Karen Wheeler. Like, isn't that foreshadowed?
And after that, all of his plot will be done. There will be no more need for him at all. But, you know,
he's the main bad. If you didn't know, the Mind Flayer's in him.
He's going to be part of it. But Gary Busey's son, I believe, is going to be like the general of that army. Mm-hmm. But in the trailer, we hear, you know, the Mind Flayer saying, you know, you closed the gate, you trapped us here, and now you have to let us stay. So something is going to have to happen. It's almost like, I don't know, y'all may not have seen this movie, but the old Poltergeist movies. At the end of that, someone had to lead all of those spirits into the light, and it ended up being the little, the psychic that was working with them, Tingina, I believe was her name. And she walked off into the light with them. So I could see something like that happening, and that's more akin to like the quote-unquote Night Queen thing with 11 having to stay in the Upside Down. I would hate that, but it still would make cinematic sense.
Yeah.
You must exorcise the demons.
Exactly.
So Katrina Torres has a question from the chat. Do you think their powers are there? Do you think there are more with powers? Like, is there more characters involved?
Absolutely. Yeah. 11 is the highest number
we
that
need number 12.
So
for that Wolverine reference.
We might get number 12. I mean, they have taken a lot from X-Men lore, so I could understand something like that happening. But it seems like, you know, all the other kids or test subjects that were before 11 did not matter as much as 11 did. Like, Kali has powers. We've seen that. But I don't, for whatever Papa's organization was trying to do, 11 was the biggest key that they had to going into whatever espionage they had. So they didn't necessarily need to keep Callie on guard as much as they did 11. So somewhere along the line, Callie escaped. And those other kids, Terry, I think she's number 1. She was basically booted out. You know, they lobotomized her. Everyone else that's in that train in between 2 and 7, and then whoever 9 and 10 are, something happened to them. They either escaped, or they were put someplace secure, or they were just randomly let go because whatever they could do, or they were killed. Whatever they could do was not enough. But 11, Papa made sure to keep her. And I think there's a reason for that. Hopefully we get some answers, but if we're still going to have like 2 or 3 more seasons to go after this, they're probably going to drag that out a little bit. And I wouldn't be mad at that. That's a slow burn. I think would be very interesting to see, because I would like to explore all of those other characters and see where they ended up, what powers they have, especially, and if at any point in time we will see like a Voltron Megazord get put together with these kids coming in, like Max and her team and Dark Angel with their special powers.
Oh snap! And you go back kind of to what you were saying about the numbers. Many may have escaped, but there could be some assimilated, kind of what you were saying. But if you look into MK Ultra, this is not just them developing their powers; it's also brainwashing them. 11 going through whatever system she's going through, you could see the patterns of brainwashing that if she would have stayed there, because she still is brainwashed by Papa to an extent.
He still
he's got her.
Kali proved that. Yeah, he still has a hold on her.
They will use LSD, so these kids may think they're free. These numbers may think they're free and out in the world, but what happens, you'll get a trigger word. You'll get a trigger sound that's not normal. It'll be just
I agree
crazy
with that.
word, and you go into this trance, this altered split personality that they create with you. You know, trauma creates split personalities very easily. It happens all the time.
I would say you are definitely spot on with that. There are, I don't think all of the kids escaped or just live, someplace else. I think there are different bases, and there's maybe at least 3 or 4 others out there besides 11 and Kali.
Yeah.
And they're basically a bunch of Winter Soldiers waiting for their next order. They just don't know it yet.
I wonder
until they hear that trigger word.
I wonder if there's gonna be, like, they'll highlight a new kid who has the tattoo, maybe, and it happens to be because we've only had that is like 11, but it's like a boy instead. That's like a main focus of this and has like certain powers. Because yes, they have the outcast that's with Callie in this episode, episode 7, but like just to
that's
kind of
really interesting. We've not seen any other. We know there's at least one other boy that was in the group, but thus far we've only seen females like Terry, Kali,
Was there a
11.
boy in the group? I thought in that picture
I believe.
it was like
I think there was
there was
at least one boy in there. But if I'm mistaken and they are all ladies, then there's definitely some significance to that.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to know what it is.
Number 12 is a boy, probably.
Come on, everybody knows the females are the most powerful of the genders. I mean, they embody everything that is creation. That is, and I probably will catch hell for this statement, but I mean,
no, that's kind of valid. I mean, it's almost like their own version of the Red Room that trained all of the Black Widows. Hashtag Natasha Romanoff. We've seen 11, and 11 has always been like linked side by side with Jean Grey. But thinking in terms of how the Red Room works, and if you know your comic history, Natasha Romanoff basically was taking the same serum that Nick Fury did. So she looks pretty and young, but she's hella fucking old. So there's a lot that can be, paralleled with the Red Room and with MK Ultra. It'd be an interesting thing to explore.
Yeah. I wonder if they'll touch more on this in season 3. We'll find out.
Fandom D Bird.
We're gonna find out tomorrow.
Fandom D Bird Flu. You got anything to say?
Did you just call him Fandom D Bird Flu?
Interjected, honey.
Yeah, the
I
Fandom
need
D
to
Bird
know that
Flu.
when I entered this freaking chat.
Yeah.
But yeah, I still think that there are like more of them with powers, because it's interesting how we jump from, if we start off with number 11, then we get like a number 8. It's like, what happened to the numbers in between here? It's possible that when Papa, quote unquote, left that organization because they said like, oh, he's no longer part of it. I wonder if he had like some numbers under ice, and wherever he's doing out in the freaking world, he's probably just awakened them. There you go.
But is he really alive though? Is he? I'm
He
still
has to
questioning
be.
that.
That was the
I think
setup for this
that
episode.
guard,
AK.
that man was
He has to be.
trying.
If not, I'll
That
be more
man
pissed.
was trying to save his life. He would have
Nah,
said anything.
he wanted to be, and
I'm
he said
still
it.
on the fence with that one.
He got them
If he's not
adamantium
in-
bones.
Not in this season. Even if it's not even a cliffhanger, I'm coming after you. People who wrote episode freaking 7. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, episode 7, and now Phantom D bird flu.
Trending on Twitter. Hashtag Phantom
Get
D
that
bird
shit
flu.
trending, damn it.
Phantom D bird flu. Yeah, there's not that much that really happens in Lost Sister. I mean,
The only thing that's noteworthy really is Eleven's faceless man training. She needed to know how to truly control her powers and not just. I don't want to say just do them on reflex because we've seen she can do things at will, but those were very small in scale compared to everything she had to build up to for this season and these last few episodes. So I think she really needed to learn how to really truly pull in her inner strength and focus that so she can do the big jobs.
yeah.
And she's supposed to be even more powerful this season.
Yeah,
Exactly. She literally is Jean Grey.
she's going to be very powerful.
Dark Phoenix. Ooh, holy shit. Will she go Dark Phoenix? I saw the black veins in the final episode going through her face. You know,
Yeah,
if
I
they're
think
pulling for some X-Men shit.
those black veins are going to be infecting a lot of people, like that fucking Googa blob looking monster that they show in the trailers.
Yeah.
That's not just one person. If you look at like a full 360, there's a whole different bunch of spinal cords and ribs and femurs and whatnots all through that thing. That's like a conglomerate of at least 20 some odd people that this thing is going to suck up and build into this weird ass upside down Megazord. So a lot of
We
people are
all
going to
float down
die is
here,
basically
Georgie.
what I'm saying for this season.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we'll come to figure out 11's story in a little bit. But
Yeah, whatever. Don't get sassy. Just start getting.
so
Damn that, bring all of the sass.
So we're gonna, I guess, yeah, because the thing is, she remembers Mike and Hopper, and she wants to go home. So that's literally it's the last part. But in Mind Flayer, which becomes very interesting, because we lose one of the homies, not homies, but one of the adult homies. We lose Bob in this episode. R.I.P. Bob. But could Bob come back as like a zombie? Who knows? But anyway. We are
Don't
back
bring
at the
zombies in here. I'm gonna sleep like less if you bring zombies up here. Don't just
So we're back at the hospital with Will, and they're trying to figure out one way to get out of the hospital. And basically, they have to pick someone to be almost a sacrifice, because the Demodogs have taken over the hospital. So.
Well, I don't know who pauses in the middle of running from a group of demodogs to gaze into Joyce's eyes, but I tell you what, Sean Astin does. Bob the Brain does have some beautiful lips on him, and he took it out with the blue steel all the way to the bitter end.
He was there. He was literally fucking there. You had those couple seconds that you needed to run out that damn door. And what did you do? You stood there and smiled. Yeah. You're the older nerd of the group, bruh. You should be able to read these things just as easily as those kids do. Like when Hopper went off talking about, I'll go out, I'll restart the power, we can get out of here. And Bob's like, excuse me, sir. Do you know how to actually reboot these computers? You can get your power back, yeah, but it's not going to do shit because everything is mechanicalized. Everything is set up to a damn computer. You're not going anywhere. Do you know how to speak basic? What the hell is basic? And it's not Bob that answers, it's Mike. And he's like, it's computer programming language. And Hopper's like, okay, yeah, teach me. And again, Hopper, I love you, but damn it to hell. Good old Bob steps in like, yeah, I can just teach you German and Japanese right now too. How about that? Are you joking? So he has to like Samwise Gamgee. He's thrown into this adventure, and he fully takes up responsibility when he needs to. He, just like Sam, he uses the skills that he has to get them out of a tough ass situation. And my boy almost fucking made it. If you and Joy wouldn't have stopped to trade hard eyes, then you could have ran out the fucking door and been fine. I mean, I support their relationship, but then I don't, because I think Joyce was just settling for what was safe where Bob is concerned. And I think that might have, maybe blown up in her face a little bit after all of this, but still, you could have survived, sir. I'm sorry your name begins with a B, because you had an epic story, and you were you were the, I can't say he was the rogue of the party, but he was the travel guide of the party. When they couldn't figure out anything about Will's drawings, it was Bob that came in and showed them all that shit. Bob reprogrammed those computers to get them out.
One-eyed Willie.
But holy fuck, Bob was fucking one-eyed Willie. You're damn right.
Or if you like a real historical travel guide, he's the Rick Steves.
Exactly. He literally is the map. But you fell short at the end, bro, because you wanted to have your little hard eyes moment. You were almost there, Bob. Shame on you.
I feel like they killed off Bob so they can make room for Jopper.
I don't think they needed to kill Bob for that. Jopper honestly has been a will they, won't they since the first season.
Yeah, and I think Hopper would have definitely included Bob. Like I say, the man is sexy, okay? And instead of Frodo saving Sam from drowning.
How did we get here? How did we get here? I'm gonna need you to not, young man. No, not today, sir. Not today.
This coming from someone whose writings are just.
I don't give a good damn. We ain't talking about me right now.
Yeah, that's Katrina's choice. Joyce and Hopper. I want it. Yep.
I've seen that shit coming from since season 1. Bob didn't have to die for that, but we had to lose somebody in the party. There has to be some sacrifice that we're shown. Season 1, it was almost like we lost 11. She was gone for most of this season as a result of that. And this time it had to be Bob.
Yeah.
Can I say this?
Barb too,
Steve definitely has CTE now.
What?
Chronic traumatic encephalopathy. The things that NFL players get. Because I'm sorry, this man knows that face to fist style. He has conquered it perfectly, and I just want to pay for him boxing lessons or something. Poor Steve. I apologize for butting in, but I just had to say that.
Yeah, well, he did get beat up quite a bit. First, it's by Jonathan. Then he gets beat up by Bob. Oh, not Bob. Billy.
See, and that's how Steve really don't know how to fight. Jonathan whooped his ass, and Jonathan's a little scrawny kid. You just happen to piss him off at the wrong damn time for the wrong damn reasons. And then you tried to fight the cool kid who has you in like every way. He's taller, he's bulkier, has more muscle, knows how to actually fight, and you still got your ass kicked. A little girl had to come in and save you, Steve.
Jonathan went Ralphie from A Christmas Story.
Seriously, you let that little girl disarm you. That's what I'm hearing right now.
Yeah, literal. Yeah, but is Steve a good babysitter? That's the real question.
He said that line perfectly himself. He is a shitty ass boyfriend, but he's a damn good babysitter. It's like that whole scene when he wakes up and they're actually at the car and getting ready to go down into the hole. You can see like Mama Steve coming out because he's like holding the do-rag and putting his hand on his hip like, no. I said Dustin had to get him all the way together. Like, look, bruh, this is happening. You said you're going to protect us, then fucking protect us. But protect us down there because that's where we're going.
Oh my God. Centavia Major. Bold season 3 prediction. She says Steve needs to get lessons from Mr. Miyagi. There will be a Mr. Miyagi figure in season 3.
We gonna find out.
I'm calling it. Wax on, wax off.
I saw a comment right before we came on to this. And it was in the comments of the trailer for the new episode or new season, sorry. And it was a part where it's like Steve was interacting with Dustin, and someone in the comments was, Steve, works at an ice cream shop to support his 4, as a single parent, to support his 4 kids, maybe now 6 at this point.
Wow.
I mean,
Amazing.
they're not wrong.
No.
That's a good analogy. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but it was, yeah, Steve, like, he kind of goes on a redemption arc kind of the last couple of episodes, because he's the one that hangs out with the kids the most. Even Nancy addresses it. She's like, oh, now you like hang out with the kids now, which is so nice. Like,
Nancy did give him his props for that, though. You know, he said, you know, it was really cool what you did for the kids, but I will say that Steve isn't wholly unredeemable. You know, I still think he can be a jerk, but he isn't wholly unredeemable. He is very, very self-aware. He knows that he screwed up royally with Nancy, and he knows he let the best thing that could have ever benefited him and helped him in his life, he let that get away. And he owns up to it. Like at the end, when, you know, he drops Dustin off at the ball, he sees her and he looks, he just shakes his head. And that is a person that knows that they fucked up and they're not going to get that back in their life.
Yeah, I think as well, man. And this is going back to Mr. Miyagi. What if we get a double dragon reference? Because Dornish Winch says they're going to have to beat Max's brother, Billy. He's basically going to be Night King Demi boss level. And that makes me think of Double Dragon. You're walking through the street, says, hey, this is the 80s, Nintendo. They might do a little something with that. I know they're doing some Fast Times for Ridgemont High.
I'm honestly surprised they haven't tapped into anything Double Dragon yet. Like before.
Remember the movie?
That don't know. Before there was Tekken and Street Fighter, there was Double fucking Dragon. Go do your research on that shit.
I don't know.
Darn the movie then.
Oh, don't talk about the movie. We shall not speak of it.
Dornish the Wench says, I don't know why we're all hating on Steve, but she also says that he's probably going to become a host. I guess Billy is what she was talking about. Yeah, Steve's like the big brother for Dustin, especially in the last episode.
Steve just misunderstood. He's a big dork.
Where's Steve's parents? We never meet. We haven't met Steve's parents.
I will tell y'all what Steve is. He's a guy trying to fight who he really is and he's worried about public perception instead of, and you've seen him grow out of this, he's worried about public perception instead of what he actually feels is right. You know, because he does have a conscience. And I think, go ahead.
That's the thing with him, though. Like I said, he is self-aware, but he realizes that the way he used to act is an extreme fuck up on his part. Yet he still gives Dustin that same advice. Like you're still a dick, dude. You're still a fucking douche.
He's gonna keep on giving him that advice, and then he's gonna end up dying. So, R.I.P. Steve, season 3.
I mean, he has the potential to go. I don't think anybody's safe, but especially if your name begins with a B, you're going to die in Stranger Things. Billy is going to be possessed, and I'm pretty sure he's going to have to be taken out.
Yeah.
Nah, Billy's going to be the ultimate hero in the end. 11 will become the villain. I do think 11's going to become the villain. That's something I kind of see happening now. Holy smokes. Because something can trigger her to go evil, like we see in a bunch of story arcs. All it takes is one moment for someone's emotions to take a hold of them and go evil. And
if y'all are right and Papa shows up, he might have that Winter Soldier magic word.
Ooh.
It's possible. I don't want to see that, but it's possible. I'm not above admitting that.
Well, she also.
But if he had that secret word, why didn't he use it before in season 1?
Yeah, why indeed?
Waiting.
Papa was a very arrogant man.
Papa, no.
If he had to use anything other than his own willpower, I think that would have affected him greatly. Doesn't mean that he doesn't have a core if he's still alive.
Dorn is
He's alive, damn it. He better be here. For episode 7's sake, he's alive. But if so, he probably have it for like number 12 or whatever other numbers are around. Ever since what Kali escaped.
Oh, I'm sure he knows where everybody is.
Yeah.
OTDA says.
You
OTDA.
fuck ass Papa.
Hey, don't you make fun of my favorite superhero. Hey, Papa is the best. He's a sociopath that, has no conscience, which doesn't hold him back from doing the right thing all the
You
time.
shut your play. Like you can't even say that with a straight face.
Nah, he
He's
reminds me of
right
Dresden from The Expanse. If you don't know that reference, Dresden was the lead researcher over the proto-molecule. Anyways, I'll shut up with my dorky ass.
Dorn is when Joseph said this, so Danny or 11 is going to become Daenerys. Maybe. But
No, I have faith in Duffer Brothers. I think they would give us a better story than that. If she is going to go full Dark Phoenix, they're going to build up to it the right way.
Mhm.
I don't think we'll
it'd
see
be beautiful
that
if she
season,
does.
though. If we see it, if we do see it though, it'll be like the last episode. That'll be the cliffhanger that we're left to wait for until season 4.
Yeah. What else? So we get Steve and the kids, and they decide it's like we're not just gonna sit here because they want to go fix their own problems because they can't sit around for 5 minutes. Plus, they're in the dark. This all happens.
These kids need ADD medication, so they can stay still. I just think you'd be a damn kid and go run around.
No, here's another pop culture reference. They don't need medication. That ADHD and their nerdiness and their brains thinking on different wavelengths because they frequently have better ideas how to handle things than the adults. This is, to me, a homage to Rick Riordan. And if you don't know that name, he is the author of the Percy Jackson books. He has multiple series that are steeped in mythology.
Read them.
Focus on these children. Read the damn books.
Read
the
them.
movies are they're enjoyable, but read the damn books.
Don't look at the
especially
movies,
if you like
damn it.
mythology. But Rick Riordan, his main thing with a lot of the demigods, the kids he puts in his stories, they have ADHD.
Or dyslexic.
And or they're dyslexic, or there's something slightly mental that's going on with all of them, but it ends up being their strength. Like his first title character, Percy Jackson, we learn right off rip that he has ADHD. He can't sit still. His brain's always moving. That's because he's a demigod, and it's in his blood too. If something comes at him, he just automatically reacts. And he makes whatever moves he needs to make. And it looks like, the kid could be going crazy, but no. Once you learn about his heritage, it seems for our world, our muggleness, that he has ADHD and there's something wrong with him. But in the demigod world, that's his biggest strength. So that's what I attribute these kids being like that to. Yeah, they're epic fucking nerds. They're cheesy as hell. But all the experiences they have for their nerdy love of the fandoms they do, that's what helped them get through this whole damn story. And I think that's freaking perfect.
And also, the world we live in today is not conducive to, even if you're not ADD. No, we're not designed to sit inside four walls all day.
We're social creatures. If we sit still for too long, that's when it becomes a problem.
Don't Fandom Desaint, you got some questions for the chat, I see. He's like, what?
Yeah, because Jonas Ranch was like, oh, I'm definitely a demigod fan. And I'm like, who's your godly parent?
Who would
the mess
be
god?
my godly parent? Yeah, that's a good question. But we're not going to go off on that tangent because we could be here for another hour talking about that.
That's like a
Back
drunk
to Stranger
stream.
Things.
Yeah, that's almost like a drunk stream.
Yeah, exactly. And I'll put it out there. I'm down to do it if one of y'all, set it up.
I got a podcast talking about random life events that'll be coming up in the near future. I'll definitely have you on as a guest.
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure.
Talking everything from conspiracies to crazy shit in science to news to pop culture, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I am with all of that. Let me know the time and day. I will show up.
And the
Shout
one
out to Fandom 3 right now, too,
Yeah.
by the way.
Shout out
Our
to him.
son Justin Thomas works hard.
Yes.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. If y'all don't know who Justin Thomas is, you're lacking good podcasts in your life. Go check him out.
Mm-hmm.
Top Shelf Fandom.
Yes. Yes. We recorded our newest episode just yesterday, so we'll enjoy that. But the last kind of thing.
Giggity Peter Griffin came out of no damn where when we're talking about.
BBM's favorite character, Dustin, got in trouble with Lucas because they kept Dart, and Lucas was not informed about this situation. And that because with the whole thing with the Demodogs, and that whole situation, that would have been scary. It's like with the this is probably in the next episode. But with all the Demodogs running after and around them, be like, oh gosh. But yeah, Dustin and Lucas and that whole thing, they're headed back home, and then we get Nancy and Jonathan because they've come back from their informative yet somewhat romantic vacation.
Yeah, I mean, they had sex with a conspiracy theorist watching. It's weird, he had cameras in there. That guy's so paranoid. He had something going on. That was just a weird, shady deal. I think we saw like the dark underside of the city right there, and we didn't even know it.
Yeah. So, yeah,
But he asked a good question though, Johnny. Like, did he pull out?
Oh my God.
Yeah, we're gonna just move on from this part of the situation.
Thank you, AK. It's usually me doing that.
I am not interested in Jonathan's pullout game, not one little bit. I appreciate that scene because it was very reminiscent of Indiana Jones and the female love interest in his movie. I'm sorry, I cannot remember her character's name. I want to say it was something like Georgie or something. It sounded like it was a boy's name. And I can't remember it. I'm sorry. But that whole scene that they had was basically the mirror of what we saw with Nancy and Jonathan. So, they got their little part to play. And this was almost like in the Shannara Chronicles, the author, he usually starts off with a big group and then he splits the characters up. They have their own separate adventures, and then they end up having to come together once they have like all the pieces of the puzzle. And that's basically what the Duffer Brothers did here. We had Jonathan and Nancy going to do their part, and then they come back. We have Steve and the kids. They're doing their own little side mission. And then there's the Ace team. There's, Joyce and Will and Mike, I think it was, but when they had to get the thing out of Will, and then everyone else eventually culminated. Yeah. Eventually, everyone had to come together, and one of the places they met up was right at the lab when all the power went out. And before that, we had that scene with Lucas calling Dustin out for. Keeping the damn Demodog and not telling them about it, and it killed his cat. And Steve's like, "What the fuck you mean? Who's Muse? Muse is his cat. And the damn thing killed him." Steve didn't know that was supposed to be a secret.
Yeah.
So I can't fault them for saying anything.
The funny thing is,
the whole thing happens though, and they hear the sounds in the woods and they start running off. And Max was my girl right there because she was like, "Hello, why are we going towards the spooky, crazy sounds in the dark woods? It's bad enough we're on the railroad tracks right now. Where the fuck are y'all going?"
That's the only way you get to catch the banshee.
Yeah, that's like in every horror movie when people run up the stairs or they go upstairs to like the attic in a horror movie.
Instead of out the damn door. That's exactly what it was like. And I'm sorry to even have to try to bring race into this, but it's key because you're not going to catch black folks in the fucking woods hunting around for shit like that. Lucas's senses were
Lucas ain't normal.
No, damn that. I had my time in the damn growing up in the suburbs too. Fuck that. You would not catch me in them damn woods after dark.
Hey, I had friends that lived right there in the woods with me.
and he's
just
running
as
straight
redneck as
to
me.
danger. And they choose to keep this girl less and less informed. Like she has to find out things after shit's happened. Maybe you could help prevent some of the things with her if you actually weren't stubborn as hell like Mike with bringing her into the party and giving her a fucking weapon. Because once she actually put a weapon in her hand, once she decided she was done with the fuck shit, she took Billy out in like 2 seconds flat. That was a fucking wrap. She had enough.
She murdered somebody before with a candlestick.
I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it.
Yeah.
She's one of those people that, you know, she's crazy cool. She thinks quick on her feet, but she is a mellow chick. However, if you piss her the fuck off, watch the fuck out, because she's only gonna take so much of your fuck shit. And Billy learned that lesson the hard way.
Redheads, am I right?
Yeah, it's the power of the angry redhead.
And I fucking love him for it. Never change.
Yeah. Yeah, with the whole situation at the lab is just crazy. And yeah, we have all of them outside, and yeah, we get Bob and Bob's death, but we don't know about Dr. Owens, because it's always, I think, for the rest of this episode, it's suspect on whether he survives or not, because everybody else is dying from the Demodogs and Dart, and they all obviously retreat back to the Byer household, because they had to put Will out of his misery because he kept screaming, because he was the spy and all of this. So they all go back to the Byers household, which is probably the most used house set and most used set that they have for these 2 episodes. These last 2 seasons are not 2 episodes. And they devised the plan to get the Mind Flayer, or at least some of the part of the Mind Flayer, out of Will by giving an interrogation. But before we get to that, the kids talk about how Bob was the founding member of AV Club, and they want to kind of pay homage to him in some way, which is nice and sweet. It's like, oh, and they bring up what's his name, the teacher, the teacher for the AV Club. It's like who we haven't seen in like a long time, because it seems like none of them go to school anymore. For like weeks.
Exactly. Like he was prominent in the first season, but in the second season he was like hardly there, except for like what the introduction of Max and maybe another episode. But
we didn't need him that much anymore. We needed him for just simple key moments, for him to come in and spit that Gandalf wisdom, and then he can fuck off and go someplace else with Shadowfax. He didn't have to be a part of the story too tough this time.
Or maybe he was just tired that the kids were just cock blocking him and his freaking dinner nights with that one chick. So he's like, you know what I've done? You changed my number? Go.
Yeah, you go and ask somebody else for your science questions. I'll just sit here and wait.
It was a cool tidbit, though, that we found out. You know, Bob was in Joyce's generation, and the generation after that was Mr. Clark's. Mr. Clark learned all of his cool, nerdy AV shit from Bob. So that's a very cool tie-in. And Mr. Clark, he may not know it yet, but he has totally passed the torch on to these kids. And that's why I say, like, the way they are, their personalities, they seem like they're ADHD, but no, they're just good at thinking on their feet. Why? Because they play a fucking strategy game for like 10 hours a damn day on the weekends, and they can see shit. They're kids. It's almost like the kids in The Shining. When you're in Derry and you're a child, if you are touched, if you have the shine, you can see past the bullshit. You don't know that's exactly what you're doing or how you're doing it, but with those group of kids, they can see all the connections and plan and formulate. So we have this group of Dungeons and Dragons players. They equate everything, like Dustin even said it, Dustin and Lucas. They equate everything to what's going on with this situation. They parallel it with Dungeons and Dragons, and that's the perfect way to look at it. Each one of their skills in their party comes into play in real life. It's pretty fucking brilliant the way they did it.
Steve's got like 4 health points left.
Steve will always have only like 4 health points left because he doesn't know the true game. Like when they were all sitting and planning, everybody knew what Hopper was doing when he was writing out the Morse code, and Steve was the only one looking like, oh, what's that? Everyone in the room, Morse code. Like, bruh, how the fuck do you not know this? That's basically Steve throughout this whole story. He's one step behind. He wants to try to sound smart, but nah.
Oh man, it's like the one popular guy that wants to be in with like the nerds, and it's just like, what are you talking about? Right? It's like it's half the time they're already thinking 5 steps ahead, and he's just like catching up.
Exactly, like how they got him down into the tunnel. Bro, we have this plan. Yeah, and Mike was right. They were on the bench. They were on the bench for their safety, but kudos again to these kids and the way they think. They know that they still have a part to play, and if they didn't do everything that they did, Hopper and 11 would probably have been dead.
Yeah, that would have been sad.
You make the perfect point. Every person in here is basically a D&D player.
Every last one of them. Yeah, even the ones that don't know they are. They're in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And it exemplifies that, brains beat brawn most of the time. But sometimes it's inevitable.
Sometimes you do definitely need that muscle. Like 11 needed Hopper to be there as the sniper killing for nothing. That's Hopper's skill. That's what he knows. When and this is also something that I thought was really cool with Nancy, when the demo dogs are getting ready to attack, everybody's grabbing weapons or trying to stay behind everybody that has weapons. Hopper holds up the rifle and he looks at Jonathan like, can you use this? And Jonathan is like, what? Nancy steps up like, no, I know how to shoot. Give me that. And Nancy is the one that ends up cocking that pistol right there with Hopper. And I think that's freaking awesome. Jonathan, he knows how to fight. We've seen that. He knows how to fight. If you give him a weapon, he will use it. But when it comes to guns, the boy ain't the best shooter. However, Nancy can. So she uses her skill.
Yeah, she learned kind of from Jonathan because that was like one of their activities that they did.
Isn't that fucking ironic? Yeah, she learned from him, and she's the damn marksman.
Yeah, but I think also too, it's maybe because they wanted to, they just to show her that she can do, like that she has something besides thinking about something through before doing it. And plus, she does
also bring brain power.
And she also had the smarts to realize, too, that it was 11 that was coming through the door, I think, was her.
But seriously, give Lucas a new weapon, because I'm not dealing with this other slingshot in season 3.
I agree. I fully agree. We know from season 1 the damn slingshot is not effective. Lucas let that shot go in the classroom, and he thought that maybe they did something. They all look surprised, but then the camera panned around, and no, it was 11 that gave the damn shot. This is not David and Goliath right here. Lucas, your damn wrist rocket is worth shit. Find a better fucking weapon.
How many times has it happened?
Every time he's used it, it hasn't done anything.
The rule of 3 is the third time I'll watch. The rule of 3 is in storytelling. If it doesn't happen the third time, it'll never happen. But if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen on the third time.
It'll be chicken fingers. It'll have this wrist rocket chicken fingers at any surviving demodogs or something like that.
It will come into play at some point.
I don't know what the scenario would be for a new weapon for him to choose. I want to say the bow, just because it's a deadly weapon when you're trained and you know how to use it, but it also isn't necessarily all the way set to kill. You can kill someone fighting with a bow staff, but you don't necessarily have to. Just like the slingshot, if you hit the right spot, you might get lucky and you can kill someone, but it isn't going to necessarily harm. It'll make them pause. It might sting, but that's it. But Lucas, since season 1, he's kind of had this the Danielson outfit with the bandanas he wear. It's very reminiscent of the Karate Kid. So I feel like at some point in time, Lucas is going to upgrade. I just don't know what that situation is going to be to make him do it.
That could be a next season thing, and he gets an upgrade because the kids are getting older.
Yeah, they're starting to think on different levels, and I think we see that in the preview mostly with Mike and the little bit of scenes that we showed with him and all the things he says in narration. So hopefully something cool does happen, because the kids are regular humans outside of 11, but they all have their strengths, and if they can truly channel it and upgrade the way they should, I think it'll be spectacular to see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but in that too, like the scene they have when Will is getting interrogated with the lights, like the way that the kid's eyes were like such wide and stuff, I was like, whoa, because he's like, what? I don't remember it, like, because he was trying to make himself remember things, and when Joyce was telling the story about
the power of Rufalin.
Huh?
The power of Rufalin. Just watch The Hangover.
Yeah.
Yeah, Phantom Descent. You okay, buddy? How's that bird flu treating you?
Watch The Hangover. What?
The Hangover. They all got roofied, man.
The
That's
Hangover,
what
the
happened
movie.
to Will. He's roofied.
Oh
He
yeah,
can't remember
that's right.
anything.
Yeah, I was about to say, like,
Movie?
was he talking about Hangover? I'm like, okay, now that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, and
I
they
probably fucked up the punchline, honestly.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, they tie up Will in the tool shed, and yeah, he uses Morse code to say close gate, and then because they tried to make it a scenario where Will wouldn't know where he was, and then somehow he heard the phone ring even though they were in the shed, which was very confusing. It's like,
Phones back then, the ringers honestly were really that loud. The shed wasn't that far away that he wouldn't have been able to hear it. And if you're a kid living in a household like that with that type of phone, you know the ringtone.
Yeah. But like the acting that Will has in this episode, even though it's not really much when he's awake, because they shoot him up with some sort of sleeping drugs to keep him asleep. How did you feel like that was portrayed, especially when he's trying to act like he's Will, but also has the mind flayer taking over him? Donnie?
It was portrayed good. Like, I've seen like a lot of Exorcist movies and stuff, and I think it was done pretty well. You know, like who we got from Will this season, excellent. It's just sad and painful that in season 3 he's probably going to be dealing with the same stuff yet again. It's like since the first season he's been marked, and he's pretty much just going to be just a pincushion. Well, all the stuff. So hopefully maybe him and 11 will be like working together and stuff. That'll actually be great. But this season it was done well.
Buddy cop duo.
Well, I mean, I know we're going to jump up in time as well. It's going to be like a whole summer at least, or a year.
They're jumping.
Yeah, it's gonna be weird. That conversation.
Has passed, and it's the summer that we jump in on.
Yeah, and Dustin gets back or whatever from wherever the hell he was. But
Summer camp?
we'll find out very soon. It'll be dropping literally at midnight. If you've seen Stranger Things, it's tweeted out what you'll be doing. You'll be sitting there just like Billy in zombie mode, waiting for Stranger Things to pop out. And yeah, I'll be covering that on this week's and I'll be covering that on this week's The Phantom 3 podcast. So go check that out. Hopefully Sasa has that linked in the descriptions. Yeah,
Has episode 2 even dropped yet?
No, Justin's working. He should be. Says it should be up tomorrow. He says it should be up tomorrow at some point.
It's been like 2 or 3 weeks since the last one.
It was last week.
You're a dick. I know that much. It's only been about 7 days, I think. Pretty sure it's been 7 days.
It was a week. Yeah,
you just get that bird flu, man.
For literally 3 days almost.
Yeah, we recorded it, the first one last week, which is the Art of the Critique. But yeah, we can transition into the next episode. But yeah, after like the Will thing.
Wait, hold on, real quick.
Go ahead.
I just want to again. Joyce is mom goals in this scene when Mike comes back and he says it's too late. I couldn't save the soldiers. He's a spy, and we need to knock him out and get him somewhere where he isn't going to know exactly where he is right away. And Joyce, she again still wants to save her little boy like always. And and she's one of the adults though that her and Hopper, they don't just dismiss what the kids say. So she looks at Will and says, you know, who am I? And this is after Will screaming that, you know, he's Mike's lying or blah blah blah, and Will takes too long to answer, and she does not make any qualms about it. She grabs the needle herself and says, hold him down. And she knocks him out because she knows her baby boy is in there somewhere. But right now, she can't take the risk of what else is inside him, what's overpowering him right now. And she makes that hard decision, which for a mother, I can't even imagine how tough something like that would be to deal with. So again, Joyce, mom goals. She takes the initiative to save her baby boy. Yes, this may seem like it's harmful, but if this is what needs to be done along the way, then that's what the hell we're doing. Just like when she figured out the temperature thing.
Yeah, she's the best mom I've seen on a television series in a long time. And she's portrayed as slightly crazy, but everything she does, you're like, fucking
she
go
does
get
for
them,
her
bro.
boys.
You
Everything
guys have
she
not
does,
watched
she
the
does for her
Goldbergs,
kids.
man. The mom on the TV show The Goldbergs is fantastic as well. Not the
She is a
same degree
smother.
as Joy.
Look,
She
I
is a
prefer
smother,
her
but
on
she's
Reno
a good mom.
911, honestly.
I will give you that. She is a great mom. And also, y'all go watch the damn Goldbergs. That show was hilarious.
Ain't nobody got
It
time
is.
for that.
I haven't seen that one
You
yet.
will make the damn
I
time.
will rewatch Always Sunny or Archer, or there's a few that I go to for laughs because, you know, I just got to steal my jokes from somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm
Well, especially when you
just kidding. I've watched Goldbergs. It's pretty good. It's kind of like a Wonder Years, but
What-
funny.
yeah, Joyce is the mom that's connected in this because Karen's kind of just she doesn't really care, and all the other moms don't really have a prevalent role enough.
Who's
to say-
Karen? Karen is Nancy
Karen Wheeler.
Mike's mom, right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that she doesn't care. I think where Karen is concerned, she knows that she has to try to split her time with her kids as evenly as she can, and I think she does that. But at the end of the day, Nancy and Mike are pretty damn grown, so they can be self-sufficient. She has to focus her thoughts on the youngest kid.
Baby Holly.
You know, let's say it's a parallel with Catelyn Stark. Unlike Catelyn Stark, she doesn't neglect her youngest child when the other two are in danger. I'm just fucking saying, you know, the damn parallel is there. So I think Karen does the right things. When she sees something is off with Nancy or with Mike, she does ask. She does go in and she tries to talk to them and help guide them through whatever might be going on. So I wouldn't say she doesn't care, but I think her attentions are split. And for a mom with 3 kids with a dad that really don't do a whole lot besides go to work and pay the bills, which is important, yeah, but he doesn't connect a whole lot with his kids, which is why when Dustin knocks on the door asking for him, he just looks at him like, you're fucking useless, dude. And he was absolutely right in that assessment.
Yeah, he passed out in the damn lazy boy watching porn.
Lazy boy, you let this Jonathan brought your drunk ass daughter home through the front door, made it all the way upstairs into her room, and you didn't hear that? You didn't notice at all?
Yeah.
Hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil. If he doesn't see it and he can successfully ignore it, it never happened. He is the epitome. If daddy doesn't, what daddy don't know won't hurt him. Like that whole thing that you hear all the time. If I ever
tried to do that in my tough ass West Indian mom household and West Indian too, there is no fucking way that would have ever happened. No damn way. As soon as a little rustle, the key wouldn't even have to be all the way in the lock. As soon as a little rustle or footsteps would have hit on the pavement leading towards the door, that door would have swung open so bad and my mom would have been standing right there. And that
my mom would have been standing behind me.
Sentence. Y'all would have seen that shit on the news. Like, holy damn, it's a shame how Allison fucked Alicia up.
What you doing now?
There is no way. There is no damn way. That shit should never happen. Pay attention to your damn children's. Especially, and that was a party, so I'm sure they knew that she was out. You're supposed to set curfews and know when your kid gets home. You don't go to sleep before they get in the house.
Yeah.
What kind of fuck shit is that?
That's because that's people that don't necessarily worry about their kids. You know, everybody's different, and you know, some people, admittedly, should never have children. Dornish wench, I'm a light sleeper. If my son blinks, I hear his ass. That's right. You better do that.
Exactly. I don't have kids of my own, but the kids that are in my family, there is no way I could be in the same household with them and not know if they sneeze wrong. Just saying, there's no excuse for his dad. Karen cares, but her husband, he's definitely lacking. Lucas's parents, they care. You can tell from the way Lucas and his sister act that, you know, mom and dad are that relationship is strong. Otherwise, they wouldn't have put that scene with Lucas asking his dad for advice at the dinner table, mind you.
Yeah.
The other parents besides that, that's the issue, especially Billy's dad.
Yeah.
He got problems.
I think Lucas's little sister, I can never remember her name. I think Erica, she's upgraded, I think, to a season regular, I think, in season 3. I think I read that.
And that was a good character for them to give that to.
Yeah. And I think we get some new ones in this next season. But we kind of
more new characters, damn it. Unless they're gonna survive or have a great and gruesome death. All right, bring them on.
I want Jay and Silent Bob in the mall.
Silent Bob. Yeah, I think there's obviously someone who works with Steve at the ice cream shop. And
that chick, I see. Like, they already made Funkos for that character. I'm like, what? Even know who the hell she is. Yup. When the promo came out about that mall, we had no details hardly ever about season 3.
I didn't know they made
had her
already
and Steve already. I was like, what?
Oh, she's going to be slightly important then. That's interesting.
Because we don't even got Kali. I thought she was important. More proof. Episode 7 was wasteful.
True. We'll start to kind of transition into the finale episode, which is, I think it's the longest episode that this series has had, because it was like an hour and like 2 minutes long. Or something.
I think they gave us a little bit extra for that one.
Yeah, and we kind of start with the 11 showing up and Will throwing his hissy fit of "You didn't let me see my girlfriend for a year" routine, which
that was glorious scene, and it was needed. I don't care what AK say. She's gonna be against it, but no.
Against
the last time we were gonna stream against this, you were like, no,
with Mike throwing his tantrum.
Yeah.
No, that was absolutely neat. When did I ever say I didn't like that scene?
I remember it was another stream. He was like, nah, you should have just calmed down because he didn't know the full situation. Now you're on a rewatch. You okay with it?
His initial reaction was warranted, but the kid really sat there and tried to fight a grown-ass man. I'm sorry, Mike. I understand you're in your feelings and you are justified. I get it. However, learn the whole damn story first before you try to swing on a man that could literally bend you in fucking half. That's all I'm saying. Now, for the initial scene, though, you know, after we heard the Demodogs start yelping as puppies do when they're hurt, I knew exactly that was the moment that 11 was going to come in. And what happened? My girl handled business. She unlocked the door and then walked in looking like fucking Lexa out of the damn Thunderdome. And the moment with her and Mike and their look, like Mike, he's surprised. And there's so many emotions that play off on his face. Kudos to Finn Wolfhard for that shit, because that kid's a great actor. I'm very much watching his career to see what he does next. But he had that look on his face, and then it just ends with like this slow, lazy smile. And you pan back to 11 and she has the same freaking Google hard eyes look and smile on her face too. And that shit's awesome. And the first thing that we get on the next episode after that is them actually greeting each other and hugging. And I thought that was phenomenal. And again, you know, Mike was justified for feeling how he felt. However, Michael, you needed to know some of the facts of what was going on. Hopper wasn't trying to keep her from you. He was trying to keep both of you alive. If anyone would have caught them before that point in time, it wouldn't have ended up so good, because we know they're still tracking these kids. We saw that with Nancy and Jonathan when, you know, their cars suddenly stopped working and they got hauled into Hawkins' lab. Hopper couldn't take that chance, and you know, he feels like he did make mistakes. I think he was justified in a little bit of what he was doing, especially with, you know, the experiences he had with losing his own daughter when she was only like 4 or 5. You can tell that he's this, you know, broken, distraught man. And 11 is almost like his second chance to prove that he can be a good father. And I think he absolutely can. The talk that 11 and Hopper have after this scene, once they, you know, make the plan, they split up. I think that's one of my favorite moments throughout the whole season, because Hopper is very real and open. He doesn't try to sugarcoat things. And he says, you know, I'm not even mad. Actually, you know, the look kind of works for you. It's cool. And 11's like, yeah, it's bitching. And he was like, all right. Yeah, I'll give you that one, kid. I'll give you that. But you know, he really did everything just because he was extremely worried about her. And for the situation they were in, I can't say that he wasn't justified. I'll shut up now. Talking way too much. Damn it. Somebody else jump in. Unmute. Interrupt me.
Okay, then. But I did like the reunion with 11 and everyone else, how she approached Dustin and then he's still doing those pearly white noise. I'm just like, stop it, man. You gotta stop. Good thing.
Bro, why? Why did he keep doing that? Steve even told him, like, yeah, don't do that.
It was just cringe every time he does it, and just that better be the last. That better be the damn last. But yeah, even with her and Max introducing herself to freaking 11, she's like, get out of my way. Like, she remembers freaking Max stalking, you know, that moment with Mike in previous episodes, yeah. And she's still so hopefully, from what we're seeing in the damn trailers, there seems to be buddies now. So let's see how that even goes. 3. Exactly. Yeah. Oh my God, they're already doing the fireworks. It's not even 4th of July yet.
It don't matter. There's fireworks going off here. One of the biggest fireworks displays in the Midwest is here in Columbus, and that's happening right now.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is, when I'm watching season 3, I don't want to be hearing these damn fireworks, AK.
I mean, you in New York, bro. You already know how the block is going to be on any given holiday, especially 4th of July. You know we're going in. There, even if you stay away from the Parkway, there's no way you're getting away from fireworks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like you can go anywhere and there'll be fireworks. There wasn't as many for Canada Day, but I can only imagine how much there will be in this next day or so. I wonder if people are just going to be a bunch of hermits tomorrow and just watch all the episodes of Stranger Things instead of going outside and enjoying time with the family, barbecues, pool parties tomorrow.
I'm sure there's someone going to be waiting up at midnight specifically for all the episodes to drop.
Yeah.
Do they open at midnight? I think sometimes it's 3 a.m. for us, I think.
I don't know if it was something like that. It could be that it's 3 a.m. I know they did it at another time for like some other show that dropped.
It was like 2 or 3 a.m. But I know they did for Orange is the New Black. They unleashed it out like early one season. I was like, what? Just do this for every damn show.
Who knows? They might do it where it's like, yeah, so then people get it at 9 o'clock on the Pacific Standard Time.
I'm looking at the pirated sites, so I don't see anything yet.
Oh, the pirated sites.
Not saying you should go there, but I don't see anything there.
I see nothing. I hear nothing. I don't even know
La la
what
la
you're
la la.
speaking of. Plausible deniability. The statements from Fandom Desync are not hereby
Don't.
coordinated with Mackenzie Burns and her guests. Just so you know, anyone that might be listening.
Yeah, it's his the Fandom D bird flu that's talking.
Yeah, it's the bird flu. Don't believe a word the man says. He's crazy.
And yeah, the kids get all reunited. And yeah, like 11, she was missed by them. She hasn't seen them in about a year. Well, they didn't see her. She saw them a couple times. And yeah, it's like that Mike and 11 come together. Yeah.
I have a question all around the board. Do you think 11 was justified in the shade that she threw to Max in that moment? I think when Max introduced herself and she held out her hand, 11 just completely tossed her the cold shoulder. What do you guys think of that?
Like, unless then maybe, but like I feel like because she felt like Max, because like I think the only time she saw Max was when Max was having a conversation with Mike in the gym with her skateboard.
True, but with the reaction and the look on Mike's face, how he said, I missed you, I called you every day, and all that. After filtering through those feelings with him, I don't think that she should have been given Max the shoulder she did. I think Max actually handled it really well, and she already thinks that 11 is cool. I side-eye 11 a little bit for that moment. I don't think that was cool how she did that.
Yeah, it was maybe just because they gotta have like the fake jealousy thing, but it also could be because 11 doesn't know like her or know her at all, so maybe like a thing of because this going into this season, it was a lot of keeping people safe, keeping people from the outside safe. So it could be like that, maybe that kind of thing. But yeah, for the most part, I feel like it's unjustified. Johnny?
Well, I think she just feels like she's being replaced. Even though, it's just kind of a natural film we all get, even if whether it's justified or not, I think it's a good way to just humanize these characters and yet again show us how relatable they are.
Also sort of was envious because she got to pretty much spend more time with pretty much her boys and she couldn't.
True. Santavia just said in the chat, she was jealous because she wasn't around and Max was, the new girl who was, quote unquote, taking her place. Yeah. And I think Mike actually was on that same wavelength. And I think that's what his issue with her has been from the very, very beginning. Like he said, he flat out said, I don't hate you. I just don't think that you need to replace my girl. And when I find her, just because we're here in this moment, it doesn't mean that you're a part of the party. And it's kind of suckish, honestly, for on both ends with Mike and Elle. But I do understand it. Young folks have weird jealous tendencies like that.
The part of that though is just like, why would you? Because you already know you yourself is kind of a social outcast. So why would you reject someone who's basically a social outcast?
Social outcast, and I think 11 had to have known. There's no way that there would have ever been anything going on with her and Mike. Mike called her every damn day for 353 or 55 days. That was, she said, yeah, I know, I heard you. Why then would you throw shade at this new kid that's essentially an outsider just like you?
Yeah, it's like, plus she doesn't like Mike like she likes Lucas.
Yeah, exactly.
Look, they're best friends in the new season, so it'll get squashed.
It seems like they get past it, so I am happy to see that. It's just it's just interesting to analyze that moment for me.
Girl power.
That was my one question. Moving on.
You got the girl powers.
Don't you yell at me.
Yeah, and with 11 and the friends, when 11 is first then 11 gets a hug. I was about to say a cuddle, a hug from Joyce, and it's like, oh, the pseudo mom gets
Hashtag mom goals, man. Joyce knows what's up.
Yeah.
And 11 needs that love. She needs adults in her life like Joyce and Hopper, who are there only looking out for her, not for their own interests. So yeah,
Everybody needs a Jopper in their life.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope
Jopper is
that we
parent
see
goal.
more interactions with 11 and Joyce, because I think she absolutely needs that.
Well, if Jopper becomes a thing, you never know. Like, yeah.
Yeah, true enough.
Then, oh my gosh, I'm like sitting here just like thinking about like how this, like, what is it? It's not, it wouldn't be like a family tree necessarily, but it'd be the tree of characters and how this kind of works. So it's like, it'd be just funny. I'd have to almost make it and draw it out and show you guys when we cover this on, again, after the new episodes drop. But there's so much spider webs connecting everybody. Yeah. Did you have anything you wanted to say about like the reintroduction of 11, Johnny, with the group, the kids?
It was a great feel-good moment. It's like when it's like when Sloth and the Goonies reunited and took over the bad guys a little bit. You know, I gotta relate it to the stuff we loved, and I'm sorry I'm eating a little food that got thrown at me late. I apologize. I might faint if I don't, though. So,
Mama, you been a bad girl.
I do like this. It shows her true character and that she is still just a kid too. And all of these little kids. And you know, what if she becomes Will's stepsister? Will he have traumatic visions every time he looks at her? It might even trigger something for him. But I think they'll get over it. He's a kid. And I don't mean that to say that this is a light subject by any means, or this is something he can get over easy. But he will meld back into being a kid. Will he ever get over this? No. But I think we'll see kind of, because that's interesting, right? Because if Jopper does get together, because didn't Hopper adopt her?
Yeah,
right?
so
So
legal adoption, yeah.
yeah, we could see an interesting step.
And then you got, and then you have if because it's underlying as official with Jancy Johnson and Nancy, so then you have that connection, and then Will and Mike with like under that as well. So it's like it's a whole bunch of just interesting.
Next character is going to be Ike, and he's going to be Mike's best friend.
Ike.
I think it's cool how they're all going to be connected. I honestly hope it does, work out like that. 11 has never had a family. She before being in the woods and meeting those kids, she never had a friend. She didn't know what that concept was at all. So if her family just ends up growing by 3 more people, that does nothing but benefit her. She's already in a part of the party. This could be the season where her and Will actually connect and get to know each other, not just because they've had these very close encounters with the Upside Down, but just because they're kids in the same family.
Yeah,
I think that's freaking awesome, and I honestly hope that it happens that way. We know Will is still touched a little bit from the trailer, so I think that we're going to see a bond form a bit with them. At least I hope we are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because this show lends itself to having multiple.
Billy and Will combine to create Willie.
Oh my gosh!
You stop it right now.
It's when Johnny has food, he sometimes goes crazy. Yeah, this show lends itself to have multiple kind of crossover relationships and multiple almost group family aspects, which
Holy
not
shit. Can
not
I
a lot
throw
of
this out here, y'all? Really quick. A bit of meat that Dornis Winch. Thank you so much. Will the Wise. Will Samwise Gamgee. Maybe, but you could go toward Mike, and you could say Will is Frodo type character. Or
That's
you
what I would
could
say
interchange
that's a
them.
better fit. Mike, I would say, is actually the Samwise Gamgee role, and Will, I would say, is Frodo. He's been affected very severely by the One Ring, and that's gonna come back into play. You know, when we saw 11 close the gates, you know, the little shadow mist monster that dripped out of Will, we saw that worming its way back through the gates, but there's a part of it that's still there. And I think it's somehow going to use Will again to try to get what it wants, but it's not going to be just Will. Like he said in the beginning, when you know Joyce was asking him what was wrong, it got me, Mom, and I can feel it everywhere. It doesn't want just me; it wants everyone else. So that is going to come into play very heavily this season.
Yeah, of course. We get once 11 is back and she's had the pleasantries of getting a hug from everybody, it seems. They devise their second plan to go and defeat the Mind Flayer and to close the gate. So we have 11 and Hopper who go off on their buddy duo mission. We have Nancy, Jonathan, Joyce, and Will that tried to have almost an exorcist moment in Hopper's cabin, and then we got the the babysitters club and the kids that need to be babysat, which is with Jonathan, which we've all kind of touched on, and yeah, the fact that Mike also says that he doesn't want to lose 11 again and that he'll never lose her again, which makes me suspect that something may happen, where she may have to go away again.
Random sidebar.
Mhm.
That scene where they're talking just before everybody's about to leave to go to their respective stations, and 11 leans in for the kiss. It's almost like Hopper's dad senses start going off.
Like,
And
no.
he's like, "Hey, 11, it's time to go."
Yeah.
I thought, as small as that part was, I crack up every time I see it. I just thought that was freaking perfect timing for Hopper. But you know, Hopper's a mellow dude. He gets it, but he's still a dad. He's not gonna willingly let it happen right in front of him. Like, hey, what y'all doing over there? Come on, stop that right now. We gone.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like
that
we
was a
don't.
good one.
Yeah, don't have time. No make out time, and let's go. Yeah, so we have we can with 11 and Hopper. 11 reveals that she went to go see her mom, and they have that whole conversation, which like Hopper feels bad that he obviously had to lie to 11 about her mom, but she understands, and it would be interesting in some aspect if 11 was able to go back maybe with Hopper at one point and maybe interact with Hopper and her mom like in the same room and see how Terry reacts with 11, because we saw it. Terry's sister, can't remember her name either, also saw that, but it's maybe that connection that she has, but now there's this rule that she's not supposed to like do anything, but I don't think we've seen the last of Terry.
I don't either. And I think I might have mentioned it in our last stream, but one of the random tinfoil crackpot theories I have is that at some point in time, one of these other kids is going to show up and they're going to have the power that will be able to fix Terry's brain. I absolutely agree with you. I don't think that we've seen the last of Terry. I am just really, really interested in knowing exactly what her skill set was before they lobotomized her. Because we know she can communicate through, you know, that what was like maybe third or fourth dimension thing that 11 goes to when she's, you know, seeing the Demogorgon, she's spying and she's seeing Mike and checking up on Hopper and all that. Terry can easily tap into that, so she's not completely gone either.
Well, she's
It's
also
almost
an
like
empty vessel, right? She could be used as a vessel.
That's a possibility too. That's a possibility too. But I don't want to completely agree with that. I'm more because of everything we know that happened to her, she's still in there, still fighting. She knew the
I think
moment
she's in the upside
11
down.
was there next to her. That's why I think it's possible for, the right psychic power from one of these kids will bring her right back to speed and pull her out of that catatonic state. We know she can affect things like, the lights flicker a lot. Her sister thinks it's just an old house. No, it's Terry trying to communicate, like Will with the Morse code with his right hand tapping on the duct tape. And, the mind flayer is in full control, but there's that still little bit of will that's in there. And it's strong. His will is strong enough. Will's will is strong enough to push through past that to get a message to his friends. Terry's mind is strong enough to push through and tell 11 exactly where she needed to go and who she needed to seek out for her Faceless Man training. Terry didn't do it because she thought 11 needed training, but she wanted her to see that she wasn't alone. There are more kids out there like that. You can find them. So with Terry being able to do that in the catatonic state that she's in, that's why I think that she was the number one test subject in this whole thing. She's fucking powerful. They shut her down, but they couldn't completely get rid of her. And I think Papa knew that was the only way he could stall her, maybe for a little bit. So I don't know, that's my tinfoil. I'm really, really hoping that we get to see what she could actually do before she was lobotomized, because I don't think she's just any random mom that had these experiments on her. It's almost like what's her name? Was it Jessica? Paul Atreides' mom in Dune, when she went through, the spice thing when she was pregnant with Alia. And as a result of that, Alia came out with the powers of, a high level Bene Gesserit as a child. The kid was 2 years old and adults are speaking about adult things in front of her, and she's getting the jokes and laughing and conversating, and everybody's looking at her like, why the fuck are you so damn weird? I think that's why 11 is as powerful as she is, because Terry had those ultimate powers and it filtered into 11.
It's not an extreme with AK if she doesn't say Bene Gesserit in like one point in time.
I'm just saying the reference is there though. You know what I'm talking about? You ain't disagreeing. I'm just saying you know the reference is there. It's a good parallel.
For me, I still, for my tinfoil of it with Terry, is that she could be used as a weapon against 11 and crew. Just a matter of time for like people remember, wait a minute, there was a chick we once knew. Either Papa and his forces, or who knows, maybe the mind flayer will actually use her, because she's still connected to the upside down, right? So with the mind flayer can actually just end up like using her.
Yeah, she's the connection.
Yeah. You're right. It'll be interesting to see. I mean, I really I agree with Mackenzie. I really hope that we see more of her.
Yeah, we got and then might as well get this over with the Billy and Mrs. Wheeler scene that we get. And Billy has been not charged, but he's been told to go find Max and to cancel any date that he has. So he goes to the Wheelers because that's the only place that he can actually think of first to find where his sister could be. And Mrs. Wheeler has eyes for Billy. Yeah, what do we think about this whole weird mom looking at the teenager aspect thing? Was this the thing that Billy got in trouble with in California? Not the fact that he may be a gay character or a questioning his sexuality type character.
I can't blame Karen for that, because you know her husband is not hitting that right. I'm just saying. You know, she's done her wifely duties. She's made heirs to the throne. But besides that, Pops ain't handling what it needs to handle in the bedroom. I think we can all agree from the personality that we've seen in this man. He just doesn't care that much. So, you know,
I'd
for the housewife, I'm just saying, for the housewife in the suburbs that she is, of course, you know, a younger man would be appealing to her. And Billy feeling it too. You know, you saw the way he looked at her. She's a MILF, so I can't fault him on that tip either.
Was he feeling it though? You think he was, or you just playing?
You didn't see the way he was flirting with her?
Nah, he needed that info.
She would have given him that info anyway. Let's be real. She, like I said, she cares about those kids. She would have, if she knew something, she would have told him anyway. But my question is, honestly, the thing that I literally just thought about, how the fuck did Billy even know where to go to find her? He has made no qualms about showing how much he dislikes that town and dislikes everybody in it. How the fuck did you how did you know whose house to go to find Max?
I
Probably
think
kept tabs on Max's friends.
yeah, he probably first went to someone's house and then went to Flayer's. I think probably because he didn't want to go to Lucas's house first, that he was like, okay, I can go to either Dustin's house with the crazy mom, or I can go to the mom with the cat, or the one that maybe, who knows, because he knows what Nancy looks like, Billy, so he can automatically maybe assume what Karen looks like, and he's like, I'll bet on Mrs. Wheeler, maybe. Or it's just one of those TV things that they don't want us to know about. They're just like, you figure it out yourself.
Yeah. Like, of course, it's a small town. Of course, everyone knows where everyone lives. So, yeah. It's just one of those random tidbits that I think about.
Yeah.
Well, Funko loved this scene so much, it made Funkos out of it.
What?
Karen has a Funko?
Yeah, I've heard in this exact scene.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Wow. That
was
wow.
really an eye roller when I saw it. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. Her in her freaking nightgown and freaking Billy's shirt open. I'm like,
I like Karen, I do, but yeah, she would not be a Funko in my collection. What?
Yeah. Karen. But there probably is somebody who loves, either they are a completionist and they love Stranger Things, or they just love the actress who plays Karen. But yeah, like Dornish went just saying, I think that he was strategically flirting, but he would definitely throw her a bone. Yeah,
absolutely, I agree.
I feel like because I don't know if people in the chat have seen the trailer, but there's in the trailer, I think there is a scene where there's all the moms lined up on the lounge chairs and Billy walks out for
yeah, because he seems to be like the lifeguard, I think.
Yeah, because Billy's a lifeguard this year.
All the girl lifeguards are Googling him too.
Yeah, because I think there's another new character. It's another girl, and she's the lifeguard. So
I think there's an episode that's going to surround her, because I think there's one that says, you know, the missing lifeguard or something or other like that is the title. So that girl's going to come into play.
Mm-hmm.
Also, did he graduate from high school? Because it's been like a year, right?
I think Jonathan and Steve should have been graduated by now.
No, no. Jonathan and Steve are enrolling in oh god, what's it called? Space camp. Yeah, they're going to space camp, and then they're going to their chef school. And I think, actually, it depends on what Dustin is doing. What Dustin is doing is going to really dictate what Steve is doing, because the bromance is strong with this one, with those, right, Vivian? Fandom D Saint, Fandom D Bird Flu, Fandom D Silent Treatment. I deserve it. Fine.
The Funko King that is Fandom D Saint.
I offended him, and He doesn't
I think
even know who I
might be
am
right-
because I'm wearing a hoodie.
might be right
But
back.
my name is Johnny, and that's about it. I wish it was
Uh-oh.
my name. Does everybody see the kid? What were we talking
Oh, we
about?
were talking about Mrs. Wheeler.
Red
Mrs.
Rocket.
Wheeler
Red
and
Rocket.
Billy.
Oh, Mrs. Wheeler and Billy. I don't know.
That's what.
I've said enough about that. I mean, yeah, Billy.
Um,
Billy's weird. I mean, I wouldn't even say his dad's like that awful.
yeah.
Like, it just slapped him one time, kind of like I got worse beatings.
Yeah, his dad's just weird, but I feel like his dad's gonna be somewhat involved in the next season and be like the bad parent that's like not like Mr. Wheeler, Ted, or whatever. It's just like he's just the bad dad because we have the good dad in Hopper and then the meh dad in Ted. So it's like,
Yeah, we're talking about Billy and Max's dad.
yeah.
I honestly wouldn't say that he's a bad dad. I think he is probably more strict in his parenting than we've seen on the show thus far. But I mean, let's be real. Billy deserved that slap. He's straight out. One, his little sister is missing. Two, like Pop said, they've already talked about family ties and respecting each other. He still constantly says, Max isn't his sister, and also disrespects his stepmom all in one go. He only got one slap and pushed up against the wall for that. Had his parents been West Indian, he wouldn't have been able to leave the house because he wouldn't be able to walk. That one little slap that he got, I think, was justified. And looking at his behavior from the beginning of the season, yeah, nah, you're a kid that really needs to get put in your place sometimes, and you're an asshole. So, can't say his dad is really a bad person.
Yeah. And we kind of talked about some of this stuff with the kids, and then the kids set the fire to the underground, which causes all of the demo dogs to run towards where 11 and Hopper are because they have to go close the gate. Yeah, like 11 and her powers, we talked about this. Like, it's awesome that the spectacle of that whole CGI scene was just amazing. And then Hopper being the good dad that he is. I think, yeah, we've kind of talked about everything. We know that Dr. Owens is still alive because they find him. And Will is somewhat back to himself. And yeah, we kind of, they kill everything. And then we jump to a month later where the guy, Murray, has basically put a hit out on the Hawkins lab and got it shut down. And Barb gets her funeral, and the kids go to the snowball dance. So, what do you think about this, Johnny?
Barb finally got a funeral 3 years later. The snowball dance was nice and cute. And I'm going to have to pop off here in just a second because the doctor said I need a backiotomy. So I'll just kind of give my little bit of spill. Very nice. And yes, dark Phoenix-ish how shit went with 11. And, it's kind of just a culmination of everything you want to see from these characters. The wrapping up of their storylines for season 2, and they wrapped them up very nice. It's a lot like doing a finale to the series, a finale to a season. There's a real art to it, and I think they performed that pretty damn well here, and it leaves you feeling emotional about different things. You feel certain sorts of ways, positive and negative, and that's what good television does. It invokes that emotion. And it's good to see 11 get to have some sort of normal childhood, but at the same time, you've watched Wills be stripped from him. And it's just wonderful, right? No, I hope he gets to be what you would call a normal kid or teenager, I guess, at least, for one season. But I don't think it's completely done with him. Like y'all were stating before, it's gonna come back to something else in the end, or else he'll be used as a pawn. I don't know if he's gonna develop full powers, and I don't know why I'm predicting right now. What else did you say in that lineup there?
Oh, we got the snowball dance. We have the revelation that Hawkins' lab has been shut down. We kind of get confirmation about that Jonathan and Nancy are together while Steve's on the outs, so to speak. We get Dustin dances with Nancy. Lucas and Max have their first kiss, which
Gotcha. You don't have to name them. I'll just talk about.
yeah, but it's like
and
yeah.
I have plenty to talk about. And so the thing with Steve, that's pretty cool, kind of admitting to himself and admitting to Nancy that, hey, yeah, you should be with Jonathan or what the hell ever. Just kind of, I don't know. He's went into a shell. He's had every bit of his manhood stripped from him, and hopefully he gets that back. And there's lots of fun tidbits here, but Hawkins Lab closing down, the only thing that means is that we're going to get more government coming in trying to figure out why their lab that they've put a lot of money in is closed down. The doctor, as you know, is basically like a subcontractor. He wasn't privy to every damn thing. That's why he was able to have a little bit of saving grace there and try to be good, so it's not like everybody in the government's bad, so to speak. They're just doing their jobs, but then you have that upper level of government mafia, so to speak, represented by Papa and his people. But yeah, I won't say too much more. I'll say bye in just a second.
Yeah. Yeah, the snowball dance, it was cute because that was the thing I think 11 was supposed to go with him last year.
You okay, FDS over there?
No, I'm still here, just listening to your.
Okay, I'm just making sure. I worry about
monologue.
you. I know you're sick. I didn't know if like something happened. You got okay. I'm just making sure you're okay, buddy.
Yeah, you too. Yeah, because didn't the snowball dance was the thing that Mike asked 11 to last year?
Yes, that's correct. He didn't necessarily ask her to it, but he did mention that they could go together. And at that point in time, 11's still trying to put together relationships and how people interact. And she said, like, would you be like my brother? And Mike was like, no, we couldn't go to that if I was your brother. So, yeah.
But the funny part, like, there's not that much that's like left. I found like the funny part was Nancy when she like takes Dustin off the stairs and is like, I'll dance with you, and it's just like the whole thing of like, oh, so now like the older like the older girl gets to dance with Dustin. It's like, well, he gets some funny cred by the beginning of
he better get some damn cred for that, because the moment came when it was like, okay, Dustin and freaking Lucas, who was gonna dance with Max? Damn, you just had to do the whole freaking hair, man. Just no, leave that to freaking Steve, man. Just be yourself. He could have danced with Max, but no, you're just too busy, with freaking Dart, which we all knew you love freaking Dart more than freaking Max. We all know this, man. But hopefully, you got some freaking points. Hopefully Nancy was that damn popular in school to the point that hell, maybe now the girls will actually notice freaking Dustin. If not, damn. Just damn. But hell, we got a Funko Pop of, a lot of these people during the U-Boat dance. Not U-Boat dance, that's Harry Potter.
U-Ball.
Snowball.
Harry Potter and Thrones bleeds into everything.
The snowball.
Snowball. Like, good. They got their kisses, whatever. Okay, let's see if the Max and Lucas relationship lasts into season 3. Maybe they'll just break up and they're just good friends.
Mhm.
Who knows? If not, it would kind of be messed up if Dustin's the only dude in the group who doesn't have anyone. Like, come on. You have freaking Will over there dancing with a chick. You got Michael here dancing with 11. You got Lucas in that. What the hell? Leaving my boy Dustin by himself?
Maybe he found a girl.
Not everybody wins, man. Not everybody wins. Speaking of not
Gotta
winning,
win in season damn 3, man.
Johnny.
I am dead inside, and I've got to run. Unfortunately, I got a slight emergency. But y'all doing awesome.
Before
Keep
you
it up.
go, unless you want to type it in the chat, what do you rate season 2?
What do I rate the entire season of season 2?
Or just these episodes, whatever you want.
I would have to give it. I would almost give it a 10, but I have to take at least a point off for the mustache episode. So I will say 9 hopper hippity hops.
The great Hopper meme dance. I love it.
But don't let me ruin y'all's fantastic conversation. So, Phantom D bird flu, yeah, take some steroids or something. I know they give them out of the doctor, so get it going. Love you, AK.
Get some rest, little brother. Get
See
some
you,
rest.
man.
I see y'all soon. Legion tomorrow, hopefully. If we're not all got the
Hopefully.
bird flu.
Pray for no one getting the bird flu besides Fandom D Saint.
When it comes to that whole sequence, one, again, this is where Steve shines. He's shit boyfriend, but he's a good babysitter. And Dustin honestly needs an older male figure to look out for him. We got Hopper for, the wisdom, because Hopper knows people and how to navigate around them. Steve, though, gives Dustin like a bit of an upper edge. I still think, some of his advice is ridiculous that he's given this little boy, but he does help to boost Dustin's confidence, and Dustin needs that. So, him getting the Farrah Fawcett spray and, doing his hair up and getting to the ball, little kid looked handsome. He cleans up nice. So he goes in and, he sucks it up. Dustin isn't a kid that just always puts himself out there like that outside of his circle of friends. So he went in, he asked a couple girls, they said no, and he was in his feelings. Rightfully so. I understand how he was feeling. You got like 3 rejections within like 5 minutes. That can weigh on you. But kudos again to Nancy for being, MVP big sister of the year. She comes in and swoops him up, dances with him, tells him, look, these chicks, they don't really know what the fuck they even want right now. And they don't know how to look past their own nose pretty much. But give them some time to marinate and they'll grow up. And she helps to everything she tells him in that sequence where she's showing him how to dance. And that's the thing. Dustin didn't even know how to freaking dance, but he was willing to put himself out there because of that extra boost from Steve. Nancy gave him the rest of the boost that he needed to not give up and fold in on himself. And I really, really like that. And I think it is going to end up paying off at some point in time, because we saw, the girls that he was talking to, they were, they got that little pre-teenage jealous look on their faces when they saw he was dancing with an older girl, an older, very popular girl at that. So that now they're looking like, okay, maybe Dustin is something I should look into. And, I get why Dustin got in his feelings, though. Will, the quote unquote zombie boy, he didn't have to ask anybody to dance. A girl came up and asked him. That's a score for him. Lucas had Max, and I don't think that Dustin ever really had a shot with Max. I've always thought the connection was stronger right off the bat with Max and Lucas. And, Dustin even said, I can see the electricity between y'all. I get it. If you want her to join the party, I'm down. I'll vote with you for her to join.
Yeah, like we had kind of mentioned before, the aspect of, because they haven't done it yet, the interracial relationship, which is
Right.
which is a prevalence in today.
Exactly, especially back then. That it was still something. It was in bigger cities it was fine. It wasn't a thing, but in smaller towns like that, oh yeah, you could still your life could still be in danger if something like that was going down. But Luke and Max did not have any fucks to give about that. They said, basically, you're the one for right now, at least in our young age. And, that's what we gonna do. And I appreciate that relationship. I'm honestly very glad that they made it Lucas and Max versus Dustin and Max. I am a bit worried about where that's going to lead Dustin next season, because he seems to think that he has to be this loner now because his best friends have hooked up.
Yeah,
but I didn't see Will holding hands with anybody. Like, Dustin, buddy, you're not alone, dude. And just because these girls are here doesn't mean that you don't still have your friends.
I don't know, AK. You see Dustin come back from camp. Why do you think he came back from camp by himself now?
Probably because not everybody in the neighborhood went to the camp that his mom sent him to. That's not an uncommon thing.
He could have had a summer camp romance. You never know.
Exactly. I went to many a summer camp in my younger days. I can guarantee you there was not ever one single child there from my neighborhood in any of my groups. Just saying. But I think it was the whole snowball thing was really cute. We saw the little cute hard eyes with Jonathan and Nancy. We saw Steve, like I said before, Steve owns up to knowing that he fucked up with Nancy. And I think we're probably still going to see a bit of repercussions with that in the coming season.
Yeah.
And, Max and Lucas got their thing going on. Will and 11 are looking awesome. And this time at the Snowball, I really liked when they were about to kiss when they were in front of the cabin. It was 11 that was really putting the effort forward. But here, Mike did not hold back any punches at all. He went right in for the kill. Like for them, I don't know that Max and Lucas would actually make it like all the way through the gauntlet to marriage, but if they survive, I totally see Mike and 11 still being together 20 years from now.
Yeah, they'll be like the cute romance.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be awesome to see if it happens. But
unless 11 sacrifices herself.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying. If they both survive on the same side of the upside down,
then
it's definitely going to be Mike and 11 all day. We saw some more seeds of Hopper and Joyce. But more importantly, what I think was interesting was the gym completely flipping upside down. And then we panned into the upside down and the Mind Flayer was right there. And I don't remember who all was on the panel when we discussed it actually during season 2. I think it was me, BBM Love, and somebody else. And I thought that it wasn't just like somebody said that it was, they're still attached to Will. And I think there is still an attachment to Will, but I don't think it was there just because of Will. If you remember, Dustin and Hopper both breathed in those spores that were in the tunnels. So there could be some random connection there where they're like little beacons, breadcrumbs, if you will, to view into their world.
So.
Do what?
Do you see the final trailer to Stranger Things?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it pretty much showed us like why now, but I'm still curious about what you're bringing up though as well. About was there any like consequences to like Dustin and Hopper like breathing in that stuff?
Yeah, that's what one thing that I'm wondering about. I don't know if it'll come into play or if it, it's just a thing that happened because they got out in time. They didn't spend any prolonged time there, that it won't be effective. But, Dustin does stand out. He also could end up being the evil genius at the end of this. We already saw what he went through with Dart. No, damn that. Look at the facts with Dart, young man.
The ends justify the means. If he never befriended Dart, never would have saved them.
I'm not saying he didn't have to befriend Dart, but he should not have lied about what was going on with keeping Dart. And also, he totally dismissed when Will said Dart sounds exactly like the sounds of the Upside Down. Mm-hmm. He I think he could have helped more if he would have said, okay, this and this happened. He didn't tell them about the cat. I think that's vital information that they needed to know. And it took him how long to accept that Dart was actually a damn demodog from the Upside Down? That's not cool behavior. I'm just saying.
There's even that whole scene with him like saying goodbye to D'Artagnan in the tunnels at one point. Like, come on, dude.
Yeah, granted, the friendship between them was necessary. I get it, but there's better steps that Dustin could have taken, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. There's so much.
Especially since he was so worried about, like, Mr. Clark taking credit for finding a new race or somewhat. Oh, yeah, he was putting his own feelings ahead of the party, damn it.
Yeah, because Dustin made Steve put the demodog in the freezer.
Fucking fridge. You just threw out this mom's food for her children. She is a single mother. Have you not seen how hard this woman works? You're just gonna let her food spoil sitting on the floor because you want to protect your scientific discovery. Come on, Dustin. Come on.
It's not like the government's gonna try and go and snatch up the dead demodog.
Exactly. So there is potential for corruption there with Dustin. Is all I'm saying. Especially since from the trailers we've seen, he feels a bit of an outcast and that he's not a true part of the party because most everyone is hooked up. I haven't seen anyone with Will, but I don't know. It's just the seeds are there.
It just may make a thing of Dustin and Dustin and Will become more close this part of the season because it's like, well, I don't have a girlfriend, you don't have a girlfriend, so it's like, why not? Speaking of that and the new things for the new season, I know we're like literally 2 hours ish technically away from the new season dropping. So any final kind of thoughts about this, the new season, what you think is going to happen, all of that fun stuff before we wrap up officially for this.
Better have two deaths this season, Steve and Billy, because I can't stand Billy, so you might just kill him off and to complete the whole B cycle. Name begins with a B, you're probably going to end up dying.
How you gonna tell me to leave Billy alone and he's number 2 on your death list too? All this time you've been telling me, no, leave Billy alone, he's cool, blah blah blah, and here you are. Now he's
a lot of these rewatches and hearing people's thoughts, you convince me. You gotta go. You gotta go. But if he doesn't, the major tease, the major damn teasers. The whole that monster thing that we keep on seeing in the trailer. I hope it's someone that we know, not just like another creature from the Upside Down. So it can actually be more emotional, like, oh my gosh, we have to kill this thing, but at the same time, it's someone that we know. So
it's going to be someone's, not just one person.
Oh, you still think it's multiple?
If you go back and watch the trailer, slow it down and look. Like that's what I was saying before. There's a bunch of different spinal columns and rib sections and femurs and tibia bones in there. It's one big blob of a bunch of people. It's not just one person.
No, that's where all the elderly people. But because there's no grandparents in this show, so that's all the elderly.
There are no fucking grandparents in this show. What the hell?
Okay, wait. More and more dairy.
I was about to say, is Hawkins actually dairy?
Could be.
Yeah, there's no grandparents.
That green freaking slime thing, whatever. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles crossover.
They do have the fucking Secret of the Ooze canister.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit's gonna come into play. That shit's gonna come into play.
I'm very curious how that's going to be like, implemented within this plot. Because it's like when that hat scene came, when I was in that trailer, I was like, whoa, that just came out of nowhere. It's like, what in the world is this stuff? And they keep on saying the lab is closed. The lab is just not closed. It's just somewhere else in this damn town. They're not going to just stop with it.
Yo, that's what I'm saying. That building might be empty, but there's a whole lot of sub-levels in there. It's just like in what was it? X-Men, when Wolverine was searching for the base at Alkali Lake. He said he went there and found nothing. Professor X was like, nah, bro, they just underground. They there. Yeah. This is, and again, the Duffer Brothers have pulled a lot from X-Men lore. I think that's what the hell's going on. They just made it look like they were leaving. They're not done with Hawkins. There's no way.
And imagine we get a number 12 and it's a twin of 11.
That would be some crazy shit, because that would mean that Terry has a child that she doesn't even know about.
Yep.
She only knows about 11, and I think that's clear. But if 11 does have a twin, woo boy. That would be very freaking interesting.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
Bold predictions.
Bold prediction.
Yeah, because we get 2 new girls in this season. So we have 2 new teenagers that we're going to focus on, because whatever his name is, I can't even remember now. And the girlfriend from the first season, they're like nowhere involved in the show anymore. So.
Oh, yeah. I don't remember their names either. I think they're totally inconsequential. They ran their course. They don't need to come back. They're probably going to be a part of the blob.
Yeah. And yeah, so we'll get the girl from the ice cream shop, which we don't know, and the lifeguard. So maybe Steve will have a quick romance with the girl from the ice cream store. Who knows? I
don't think it'll be quick, because she's actually a part of the group in the mall. And I think that a few of the scenes that we saw are a part of the Battle of a Starcourt episode. So she's at least going to survive long enough to get to that.
Well, maybe like a friends to romantic situation, kind of like Jancy. But I put it in the chat because it was funny. It's justice for the geriatrics. Where are the old people in this season?
If your name begins with a B or you are over 60, unless you work for Hawkins, you're dead. That's my theory on that.
Yeah. Yeah, because Karen never mentions we're gonna have grandma over for dinner for Thanksgiving or whatever, Christmas. There's never that weird thing.
What would be really interesting though? Hawkins was there operating as an energy company. Mm-hmm. And we know 11 was held and raised there, but what if it's an even bigger picture than we know about?
Yeah.
And I'm referencing a little show called Eureka that was on Sci-Fi back in the day. Eureka was a town basically populated by some of the smartest individuals in the world. And I'm talking next level geniuses in the world. What if, we know there's not a whole bunch of geniuses in Hawkins, but what if they are a controlled government town that doesn't know they're there just to be observed for whatever reason?
Maybe. Who knows?
I'm probably thinking way out of the box on that, and it's probably never ever going to be shown, but it's interesting to think about.
It's always nice to ponder. So.
Santavi said Joyce and Hopper are the old people. Actually, yeah. I think the oldest person we've seen
is Dr.
Not Papa, but there's when Hopper walks into the bar at the end when he's going to meet Paul Reiser's character, Dr. Owens, and there's a lady that Hopper passes. She looks to be at least the same age as Dr. Owens. Those are the oldest people we've seen thus far. Yeah. Papa has gray hair, but he's not as old as Paul Reiser's character.
Yeah, Papa only has gray hair because he's mad scientist. That's the only reason.
And we know that's what happens to mad scientists. Yeah, their hair goes gray very early.
So
yeah, that's just randomness. What's your rating though, Kenzie and David? What do you rate the whole season?
So I'll just kind of rate all the episodes, minus episode 7. So episode 7 gets like a 6, or a 7. I'll give it a 7. I'll get a 7 out of 10. 11 elevation. What is it? Entrances, like to get her to where she needs to go. And then 8 and 9, they're very good episodes. They're kind of one of my favorites from this season. Probably give it both like a 9. 9. Steve is the best babysitter we got so far. And or like no, here you go. Steve's hairstyling lessons are the like kind of thing with, because even when he's with Dustin, he's like, you didn't have to make it that poofy. But anyway, for this season, I'd give it, like kind of Johnny said, like a 9. Like this season, I know it's a divisive season for like a lot of people. It's hard to get into for like the first couple episodes, but man, once you get to the last 2 episodes, it like kind of makes up for the beginning kind of being slightly slower than you were expecting from season 1. What do you guys think?
Go ahead, BBM.
So yeah, season 1, I always say it's like a 9 out of 10, mainly because of some of the 80s references. I was born in the 80s. They pretty much went over my head, so it just didn't click with me. But for this season, I'll probably give like an 8.5 because of that episode 7. It really just brought it down for me. At one point, I was like, what the fuck is this show? Like, why are we here? Just to suffer, you know? And hopefully there'll be payoffs to that. Like, it'll be great if the first episode we open up to, you know, Pop and his crew pretty much just kills all of 8's friends and then just suddenly just captures number 8. It will be fantastic if they open up to that type of way. Or just one more time, just seeing 8 just being a tool for Pop or whatever. And then hopefully 11 will save her. Maybe not. But not only that, though, just seeing Papa alive. If he isn't, then it's like, come on, why? Just why? Besides character development for 11, which could have been happening within the town. I'm about to say town of Derry. It's not town of Derry.
I mean, it almost is.
I know. But yeah, I'll probably give the season like an 8.5, you know. Even after all these rewatches, it's still good. It's just that one episode where it just brings it down. It's like, just why? Just why? And seriously, it still did my boy Dustin a bit wrong in that friggin' snowball dance, though. Thank goodness Nancy King with the damn save.
Nancy's big sister of the year, man. Joyce's mom goals, and Nancy really is big sister of the year. You know, we see her arguing with Mike at times, but there's never been any real animosity shown in their relationship, and I think she truly cares about her little brother and his friends. And also, you actually just made me think, you know, BBM, with everything you just said. I feel like I don't know if you guys haven't watched Dark Angel with Jessica Alba. It was a show on Fox back in the 90s. Go check it out. It's cool show, and you'll see immediately the parallel with MK Ultra and with Manticore, the government organization in Dark Angel. But there is a character in that show named Tinga, and Tinga was, you could say she was an 8 type character. And you know how you were saying that Papa could come back and kill, you know, Kali's group and capture Kali again. That kind of happened with Tinga in Dark Angel. That's very interesting to see how that worked out. It was a bit different circumstances, but still kind of the same. For this season, you know, I didn't really like the full Kali episode, but I understand why it was there. 11 needed someone to help harness her chi and, you know, truly tap into the Phoenix Force, and we saw the result of that little bit of training when it came down to crunch time. 11 basically called on all of the powers of Valor and the Phoenix Force, and she did what the hell she had to do. So without her meeting Kali and going through everything in that episode, I don't think she would have been able to do it. So I'll still give it a pass just because of that. So for the whole season, I will say I'll give it a 9.5, 9.4. 9.4, because there were some really good, strong, moments. The connections with all the characters, got stronger. Their bonds are fully there. They're not related by blood, but they are all a freaking big family, and you can tell that by how they interact with each other and the love and protectiveness they have for each other. So because of that, and just the cool ass action, I mean that was some kick ass shit to watch. I give the whole season a 9.4. And Santavia has watched Dark Angel. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. That's technically not where the world met Jessica Alba. She was in a few things as a child actor, but that's where she really got her true shining moment. So yeah. Totally agree, Santavia.
Maybe more of her bigger break. Maybe you could say that. Yeah, this season really proves that they're all kind of this weird and odd dysfunctional family. You have Hopper and Joyce as the parents. You have Jonathan, Steve, and Nancy as the big brothers and this big sister in this, or the biological or metaphorical. And then you have all of the kids that are just in this. So it's like this one big happy family that they're dealing with. So on Saturday, I think this may be the last stream before Con, because I'm leaving on next Wednesday. So we'll be talking the first 2 episodes of Stranger Things. They are released out there. Unless you don't want to hear what the titles are, mute me for 2 seconds. But they're called Susie, Do You Copy? And Mallrats. So we'll be talking.
Susie, Do You Copy?
And Mallrats.
Is Mallrats I get, because we know the mall is going to play a big part. But Susie, Do You Copy almost confirms that someone new to the scene is coming in. But it might not be a kid. There's that random creepy ass guy that's walking around looking like a discount Arnold Schwarzenegger Terminator from the first Terminator movie. Y'all saw that. This guy looks suspect, but I feel like they want us to think he's suspect, but he's actually there to help, like he's a cleaner, so to speak. But that's a conspiracy theory, so I'm probably wrong about it.
Well, we'll find out very shortly about this with the whole thing of these episodes.
Is Susie the chick who works with Steve, or someone else?
We don't know. We don't know that girl's name. We don't know the lifeguard's name either. I mean, it could be one of them, but
you meant like Suze and Max's mom, but no. I said Susie.
Susie, Do You Copy? Those are the 2 episodes that we'll be covering on Saturday, which will be very interesting.
Wait. David, you just said that Susie might be Max's mom's name?
No, that's Suzanne. That's why I was like, wait a minute. I said Susie or Suzanne, but I keep on saying Susie.
Okay, but Susie is short for Susan. So what if we've been looking at them moving back to this small town for the wrong reasons?
I knew it.
What if she's a fucking operative? Damn it! This is what happens when you read fucking George R.R. Martin books. You think everything is a damn conspiracy, and there's too much shit going on in the shadows that we don't have answers for. We need the damn answers, Duffer Brothers. Okay, we have questions.
We may have
broken the code. Max just steal 11's abilities. Like,
bruh, like Susie. What if she was sent there specifically to keep an eye or watch on these things? What if Max is more than we know Max is? Because a Zoomer, come on, really? But there might be something to that. Damn it, there's my tinfoil. There's my real tinfoil.
We may have broken the code that Max's parents are involved in the government.
I mean, look at his dad. You know his dad was in the military.
Wow.
that haircut and how firm he is.
Yeah. So, does anybody have anything going on their channel? I know, Fandom, you have all the different reactions that you're doing, but
I may react to Stranger Things tomorrow. Depends if I'm not gonna cough like crazy. So far, I didn't cough that much in this stream, so it's a bonus. But I don't know. Like after this, I probably have to drink some lemon tea, and then just sleep. I
have
wake up.
medicine.
I'll try to react to the first episode. If I don't cough like crazy, I'll continue. But if I cough like crazy, I'm just gonna binge it all in one sitting. I'm not going to any fireworks, so I'm good. But I may or may not go do a stream on Johnny's channel on Legion on episode 2 for season 3. So that's a good thing I'll be looking forward to, though.
I was actually going to ask you, BBM, if maybe you wanted to do a watch along with me for the first couple episodes. Because I think I've done live reactions for Pose and Game of Thrones. I'm thinking of doing it for Stranger Things. But because it drops all at once, I don't want to ask anyone to sit for 8 hours binging this whole thing.
That's another thing. I rarely react to shows that's just all episodes already dropped.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's kind of hard to do that.
It's keep going.
Yeah. So I don't know. But any discussions that y'all want to have, definitely hit me up because I am down for all of it.
Yeah.
Kenzie, you said they'll begin after the convention.
Yeah, we're going to do the first 2, and then because we may do one, I'm not sure, because, scheduling and all that stuff at the con, but we're starting the first 2 episodes after it drops. Yeah, because we're leaving here on the Wednesday to get to Nashville for Thursday, so, yeah.
Nice.
We'll figure it out, but, yeah. AK, you're just going to be doing that? And
yeah, I don't have too much coming up on my channel outside of trying to figure out if I'm gonna live react to Stranger Things or just make a 5-minute video for my thoughts on each episode. I don't know. We'll see. Outside of that, Johnny B is a very busy man, so we're still trying to get down. When we're gonna do the next They Deserved It. It's definitely coming back. I know it's been a while. But we will be continuing. Rest assured on that.
And I bet you'll probably pick a good one for that one.
Oh, I think we will. But it probably definitely will be after the con because there's a lot of preparation that has to go into everything for the con. A lot of energy. So yeah, we're gonna go hang out with our friends. I'm gonna get to meet all of well, not all, but most of my awesome folks that I've met in the chat and have done panels with. I'm very excited. I don't know why I was tapped to be on a panel, but I will be on a panel at Con of Thrones. Hopefully I'll get some footage. I'll be able to post for that. And there is a dragon riding contest goings on. So I'm going to also try to live stream that as it's happening. If you don't catch me on a live stream, then I will, rest assured, I will record the whole thing and everyone will still be able to experience it. So that's my main focus for the next couple weeks, and after that we'll just see where the chips fall.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, we're gonna cover Stranger Things, and then once Stranger Things ends, aka when all the episodes finish covering them, we'll pick a new show. But you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Shout out to the lovely patrons of the channel. We have Bobby Catalano, Catherine Harding, Dark Mother, and Nancy T. We'll see you all very, very soon on Saturday. So watch at least the 2 episodes. You can go further if you want, but we'll be talking. Who knows? We may have watched all of the episodes by that point, but we're talking about the first 2 episodes. So with that, we will see you all then. And happy 4th of July, everybody. Bye, everyone.
Dustin did nothing wrong.
Fuck Dustin.